Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this updated video on the tropics. And so in this video we will be talking about what is currently going on with two disturbances that are out there, one of which is designated as an invest and another is currently impacting parts of the Caribbean and will be a threat to portions of the Bahamas and the US as we head through this week. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you never miss an important update. And to show support for the channel, you can leave a like on this video. Alright, and so first things first, let us go ahead and take a look at these two disturbances, and we're going to be starting out with Invest 97L. And so that is a disturbance that is located a bit to the east-southeast of Bermuda, and so that disturbance is given a high 70% chance of development through both 48 hours and 5 days. So it is possible that we can see this get itself together and become a tropical storm, a very brief tropical storm at that, because it doesn't have a lot of time out there in favorable conditions. So if shower and thunderstorm activity increases in association with it, then it is likely that this will become a tropical cyclone. And so the next name to be used is Nicole. So let's see if this is going to poke through and manage to become Nicole, or if that will be left up to that Caribbean disturbance. And so looking at 97L on satellite, we can see here, if you look closely, you can sort of see rotation taking place with it, but we only have some of that shower activity a bit to the northeast of the center of the system. That's where you see that little blob of those colors. And so if we have an increase in all this activity, then it is likely that, as I said, it's likely that this will become a tropical storm or a tropical depression, but as of right now, it has not reached that threshold to be considered a tropical cyclone. But even if it does intensify out there, it doesn't seem that this is going to be an immediate threat to anywhere. And let's now go ahead and take a look at the Caribbean. And so as we look at this satellite imagery here, we can see that we definitely have something going on across sections of the eastern basin. And so let's look at this disturbance here. And so on the 5-day outlook, we're seeing that the National Hurricane Center designates an 80% chance to this disturbance. And so we could see a tropical depression forming within the next few days, or even a tropical storm. And so it's a broad low pressure area that is right in that region, and so we could definitely see this intensifying. And as a matter of fact, many models agree on this, so it's almost a certainty that yes, we will see a tropical cyclone, a tropical storm at least, come from this area. And so going back to the satellite imagery, we can see where all of this activity is impacting some areas, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands. So we don't really see much going on over the western side of it though. And what is the reason for that? So looking at this map right here of the water vapor, so we have the green and those whites that indicate moisture, meanwhile the yellow and those oranges indicate dry air. And so when we have an abundance in dry air, we don't typically see a lot of moisture, a lot of shower and thunderstorm development within that area. And so looking at the western Caribbean, we see that we definitely have all that dry air infiltrating the low pressure system. And so that is why we're not really seeing much going on over the western side of it, but over the eastern side we can definitely see all that activity. And so right now, majority of these showers and thunderstorms are offshore of most of the Lesser Antilles, but other areas are likely experiencing some showers, thunderstorms right now. And the system is going to be making its way to the east for a bit before making that curve up to the northwest. And so this is going to be taking targets at the US, and so other areas such as the Bahamas will likely be impacted by this. And let's now go ahead and see what the different models are expecting, beginning with the GFS. If you're not familiar with this map, it is a map showing the isobars, which are those black squiggly lines, and when we see them in a circular manner with the pressure of at least 10-13 millibars, that can be a tropical cyclone that we're looking at. And the closer we see those isobars, the stronger the system is, and also we want to watch that value that indicates the minimum pressure. temperature, the lower that is, the stronger the system is as well. And so let's see what the model is expecting. And as we're going to be progressing into tomorrow, we see that GFS shows a tropical storm forming. We see a bit of a northward movement before the system makes its way down into the Bahamas. Then eventually we see some intensification and the system making landfall along the east coast of Florida and then heading up into other portions of the U.S. such as Georgia and the Carolinas. So this is quite interesting here, and let's look to see if the euro is showing something similar. And here we have the model expecting that around, as we're going to be heading into Monday, we're definitely going to be having some development in terms of that tropical cyclone. It also shows that little dip and landfall along the southeastern coast of Florida, but unlike the GFS, the euro has this making its way over into portions of western Florida, however getting pulled up likely by a frontal system around that time. And then as for the icon model, icon is definitely expected that we're going to be seeing some development, not showing development as quickly as the GFS, but shows eventual development of the system. We see those isobars coming together, which is indicating some intensification, and we even see a pressure of 987 millibars. That is possibly around a weak hurricane intensity right there. So it is also expecting that little dip before the system makes its way into Florida. So there can be many changes with this, but we're seeing some sort of consistency with these models here. We might see different intensities, but the general consensus is that, hey, we're definitely going to be having a tropical storm over the next few days, and this is going to be affecting Florida. But as I said, there can be changes, but this seems like the very likely outcome. And I mean, conditions are going to be conducive enough to allow for us to really see some intensification of even a weak hurricane, because as we look at this sea surface temperature map, in the vicinity of the Bahamas, we have 29, mainly that 29 degrees Celsius isotherm going to 28. As we go closer towards the coast of Florida, especially the northeastern coast, we see that temperatures are a lot lower there. But this is the region we really want to watch for intensification, and that seems like what is going to be the story over the next few days. So we just have to keep watching the system again, but regardless, it is going to be bringing that continuous rainfall to portions of the northeastern Caribbean and also extended into the Bahamas and then the US as you're going to be progressing into the mid to latter parts of this week, guys. So please, if you're in Florida, please keep your eyes on this, because it can definitely be something that will do some significant damage. Nothing as strong as something as Ian, for example. Definitely not that. That is not expected from the system here, but even a tropical storm is enough to do some damage, especially in terms of the flooding. And with any tropical cyclone that's making landfall, the problem is always with the water. So guys, please ensure that you're in a safe location. Do not take any unnecessary risks. And of course, I'll keep you updated as time goes by. And as a matter of fact, guys, I should mention, I'm going to be going into details tomorrow with this, but there will be a spectacular astronomical phenomenon that is going to be happening. As I said, I'm going to go into details in tomorrow's update video, but just giving you a heads up that something is going to be happening as we're going to be progressing into late Monday, go into Tuesday morning. And so guys, that's it for now. And if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments, and you can also share thoughts there. And of course, remember to always be weatherwise.